Well, hey, neighbor, it's me, Angie. Come on in. I'm in the bedroom. Yeah, Mr. It's Me's here. He's off work. He's up front watching TV. He's on the phone right now. I don't know if you can hear him, but he talks pretty loud when he's on the phone, but just ignore that sound. I shut the door to try to get him where you couldn't hear him. You may or may not can hear him. But anyway, I am here to do a neighborhood chat video. Can you believe it? So come on in. Now, this may take me a little longer than it usually does because I still have this cough and I'm still getting well over being in the hospital. And I'm so happy to be home, and I'm so happy to be back on YouTube on my channel to be with you all. I've appreciated the prayers and the cards. I mean, I've gotten so many cards, which I'm going to do a little short video on the cards that I received. I've received gifts, well wishes. I can't express to y'all how much love that I have felt since I have been incapacitated. Let's just put it like that. But I want you to know I love you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Well, let's get on with our neighborhood chat. What I want to talk to you about today is some of you act so unconcerned about life in general. And I don't know why. I mean, maybe I did in years past. And maybe and I'm sure I did, do the same thing that I see people doing today. I had to walk through that fire, or I wouldn't be able to talk about coming through that fire if I had not walked it. I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you. I just hate to see you go through it, especially if you don't learn the first time. You have to turn around and go back and learn it again. You know, it's like repeating another grade when you're in school or taking the same class over and over. So try to learn it the first time when you're being taught something. And we are mostly being taught something every day of our life if we would just accept that and pay attention. But my life is built on my faith. You know, I'm a Christian. So most of what I learn is centered around my Christian belief. Now, I don't judge you for the belief you are, and I would never. Whatever you choose to believe, God will deal with you or whoever to cause you to come into the light or wherever you need to be on your journey. My responsibility to you is to love you. Just to love you. And we can't even do that. That is what's so sad. We can't even love each other. Now, we don't really have to like each other. What I mean by that is we don't have to like each other's personalities, but we should love each other as far as if something happens, we lend a hand, we pray for you, we extend whatever we have for you. Now, some people want to take advantage of that. You know, you have your soft beggars that continually come on YouTube and beg for you to send them things and money and give their sad story and want you to basically just keep their living up. You know, just pay for everything they want and need. That's not why YouTube was made. YouTube was not made for people to get on a platform and beg for money. Now, every time I go through a relapse, I learn something. And God teaches me something every day, but He teaches me something more when I am down the way I was when I was in the hospital. I keep trying to express to you all what it feels like to be right there on the edge of that jumping off place. And you're reflecting and you're looking back and you're saying, did I tell this person I love them? Did I love them enough? Did I do this? Have I completed what I need to complete? Obviously, I haven't. I'm still here. You're still here. So God still has a plan for you. Don't live it miserably. Live it to the fullest. And you say, it's me, Angie. How do I do that? I don't have anybody. I don't have anything. Times are hard. I'm struggling. My family's barely making it. Well, you know what? I want to tell you something. Just know that you're not alone. You're not the only person that is going through the hard times. Sometimes when we take our focus off ourselves and put it on someone else, our needs tend to get met without us even giving it a second thought, and then we can help someone else. A lot of people don't want to do that. They want the attention on them and strictly on them. You know, I've said this before, people come into chats and they automatically, they don't even really greet anybody in the chat or say hello to the channel owner before they start saying, oh, guess what? I got this going on in my life, and I got this going on my channel, and I'm this and I'm that. You know, it's all about I. No, it should not be that way. If you have to try to make yourself grandiose and try to make yourself the center of attention, you need to evaluate who you are and ask yourself, am I being true to me? Is there something that I could do different that would make me look different in the eyes of others? Because you may in your mind think that you're showing that you care for others, and other people may perceive you as you're selfish and self-centered. I don't know if everybody that listens to my channel believes in prayer. I don't know. I mean, I know I do. I know I believe in my faith, and I believe in a God that leads my every direction. Because I honestly believe it, had I not fallen that morning that I fell, that I would have sat around here at this house and not went to the doctor until it was really, really bad. My pneumonia would have got worse. My flu, I would have probably got over the flu, but I would have not got over the pneumonia. I know that much. So I believe me falling caused the EMTs to come to my house and said, look, you're not breathing good. We got to take you. Did I want to go? No. I did not want to go to the hospital. I needed to. I had to. And I took it with a grain of salt. I said, God, if this is where I need to be, then let me accept the fact that I need to be there. A lot of us don't want to accept the fact of where we are in our life. And a lot of us don't want to take responsibility that we caused where we are. We caused it, you know, by the choices we make. We haven't made good choices. We all make bad choices. I still make bad choices. None of us are perfect. But I will tell you this. Start paying attention to where you are in your life. Because, you know, I was thinking today, and I have to go by the word because my life is centered around my Christianity. But in the book of James, it talks about our life being like a vapor, you know? And a vapor is a mist. Is a gas that's turned into a liquid that's turned into a gas that just, and that's how fast it goes, just like, we have 7 of those. We're promised 7. Then after that, we're living on borrowed time. Okay, so if our life is that quick, why are we choosing to spend it in a way, because that's what you're doing. You're spending money. You're spending your life on things that do not even matter. They don't matter. And you say, with me, Angie, what does matter? Okay, first of all, you matter. Second of all, your eternal life matters. Third of all, your family and life that you have here matters. You know, I used to be so depressed in my late 20s and 30s that I would just, when I would get in my car, I would ride around and go up and down these roads and up and down these roads. And I would just pull over and I would just sit there and just think, where am I going to go from here? How is this going to be fixed? What am I going to do? If I would have just turned it over to God at that time. But I was so stubborn and I didn't want change. You know, a lot of us don't want change because we think all change is bad. But it's not. Change can be so good. It can cause the doors to open up and great things to happen. But you have to allow it and quit trying to control your situation. You know, I say responsibility is the ability to respond to your circumstances, not everybody else's. Quit trying to tend to everybody else and respond to your circumstances, what you need. And that's not selfish, because if you're sick, how can you take care of someone else? You can't. First of all, you have to try to live at peace with man, with everyone. And in the Bible it says, when a man's ways please the Lord, he make even his enemies be at peace with him. That's Proverbs 7:11, I think. I'm not sure. Try to live at peace with everyone. And I know it's hard because some people will just automatically start things and for no reason. But when you start loving others, accepting them, meeting them where they are, and your love for them is greater than your need for them, you're going to see life in a totally different light. You're going to start growing, start seeing blessings come in your life. Now, don't get me wrong. I wake up every morning in pain. And people say, Angie, how do you serve a God that allows you to wake up in pain every morning? He didn't do it. He didn't do it. He allowed it to happen, but he didn't do it to me. And my physical being is not what matters the most to him. My spiritual being matters the most. And I am intact when it comes to my spiritual man. My spiritual man is solid. Because we only spend a short time here. And we spend eternity over there. This is just a school for us to learn how to get along with others, how to love ourselves, how to learn the principles of being a team player, learning about God, our Creator. I mean, we got to understand that everybody's brain does not work like ours. Everybody's thoughts are not our thoughts. Everybody's not on the same level that we're on. We're all on a different journey. You know, in the Bible it says, work out your own salvation. You can advise somebody if they ask you for advice, but you really shouldn't tell somebody what they should or shouldn't do. You don't know. And when I come to you with these videos, I'm not telling you what you should or shouldn't do. I'm suggesting that maybe you want to try something that would cause your life to change. You know, just change your perception a little bit. You know, look at things a little different than you've been looking at them. You know, I think some of us have accepted that we're just going to stay in the same state that we're in. That's not true. You got to want to come out of that. But in order to do that, there's going to have to be some changes. And people don't want to change. Number one, they don't want to leave somebody they've lived with for years. They don't want to start over. They're afraid of the unknown, so they would rather live in the sadness and sickness that they're in rather than to find out what's out there that they have never seen before. Take a job, for instance. Some people don't want to leave a job they hate because they're afraid of the next job. Fear keeps you from doing a lot in life. Fear is the opposite of faith. And faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence not seen. So therefore, when you have faith, you're not able to see the end result, but you do it anyway. Fear is you're not able to see the end result, so you don't move. You don't do anything. You just sit there and you start having bitterness, anger, resentment. You're mad at others because they have things that you don't have, and you don't understand why you don't have them. You like to sit back and whine about the little you do have when you don't want to get up and try to do any better. You say, I don't have anybody. It's just me. Yeah, you do. You have someone. Just pray. And you say, oh, Angie, that's the silliest thing I ever heard. Well, as long as you think it's silly, then it's going to be silly. But we have to understand that when we are given a test of life, which comes on a daily basis, that we either can take a hold of it, embrace it, and say, I'm going to learn from this. And you know, a lot of us don't want to hurt for a little bit in order to get the big prize at the end. We don't want to suffer. You know, suffering, we just think we shouldn't have to. Well, out of the greatest lessons that I've learned in my life has come from my most suffering. It's when I suffered the most. It's when I learned the greatest lesson. But these three things I want to leave you with. Love yourself. Find out why you don't love yourself. Journaling is the best thing you can do when you're trying to find out what's blocking you from the blessings that's out there for you. Because God's not a respecter of persons. He doesn't show favoritism. Number 2, you got to love others, irregardless of whether you want to or not. Excuse me. You got to truly love them. And you got to find out what love really means. So you start discovering what love really means. Because love covers a multitude of sin. And love always wins, no matter what. May not seem like it is, but it is winning. Remember, there's that suffering that comes in there that we have to do. Then you got to dump yourself of whining about what happened to you growing up. I know some of you have some horrific, sad stories about your childhood, about things that happened to you when you were a teenager, you were a young adult, someone took advantage of you. I know I have those same stories. But you have to come to the point where you say, yes, that happened. And yes, it hurt me. And yes, I'm bitter about it. But it's time I grow up. And it's time to put that aside. And it's time to start from ground zero. If I have to start all over again, it's time to start. And if nobody comes with me and I have to do it all alone, then I'll do it all alone. But I am going to be a better person. I am not going to allow people on YouTube to direct me on what I'm supposed to do on my channel. I'm not going to let them direct me on who I need to speak to in chats. And I'm going to like who I'm going to like. And I'm going to love who I'm going to love. And if you have a friend out there that's trying to get you to not be friends with this other person, that friend's the problem. I'm sorry. But that's the answer to that question. And they want to act like they're protecting you from that person. You need to evaluate that. And if they are, then they don't think much of you that you can take care of yourself. Just know that life is too short. We have 7 babes. 7 babes. I'm already on 5.5. I may not even see 6. But I'm going to live it to the fullest. And I'm going to love you. And I'm here for you. My email address is in my About page. I wish that I could embrace every one of you. I wish I could hold your hand and say, you're beautiful. You're fine the way you are. And let me share something with you. If anybody ever comes to you and says, it's me, Angie, said this, this, and this about you. Or it's me, Angie, was in my chat and she did this, this, and this. Come to me, because I'll be truthful and let you know. I wish I could get you to understand about being free. Free to love. Free to care about others. Free to do what you want to do. Free to dream. Free to take chances. You know, some people aren't risk takers. I'm a risk taker. I always have been. I get that from my dad. James, he's not so much a risk taker, but he's gotten better. But just get up in the mornings, talk to yourself in front of the mirror, tell yourself how great you are, not in a grandiose way, but just speak to yourself and say, you're not junk. I matter. I'm beautiful just the way God made me. Because you are. And with that being said, neighbor, like, share, become my neighbor. I would love for you to be a part of my channel. And this has been our neighborhood chat. I'll see you next time, neighbor. Bye.